the Vietnam War was raging, and training was influencing the Guard, such as B Company. New equipment and weapons, such as M16 rifles, handheld grenade launchers, landmines, and other vehicles, were deployed. Enlistment remained high, as long as the draft was held for Vietnam. The so-called draft dodgers began leaving the Guard once the draft lottery was done, and an all-voluntary military started. In January of '77, B Company was called in for action, but it was for snow duty. And in '78, the unit was sent by air to Puerto Rico for a joint exercise with the 101st Air Assault, and left from Grand Rapids. In '78, they were deployed again for more snow duty. In '80, B Company was sent by air to Fort Benning for urban warfare training. In '85, Allegan County helicopter maneuvers were performed with B Company. During the early '80s, replacements began for Vietnam vets with USO Holland attachments. The enlistments decayed to a very low level, and it became obvious the Guard probably would not survive. B Company continued the selected reserve force trainings until the unit was closed in 1998. Many Guardsmen helped to tell the story of Company D and B. Colonel Henry Geertz, Gord Zuvrink, Bill Sickle, Orange Schmeggy, Claire Zweep, Dwayne Ninehuis, Jarn Compagner, and John Knowlton. A monthly meeting and lunch was started, and about 35 former Guardsmen attended, including 3 World War II members, 10 company commanders, and many with lots of time in the company. As of April 1st, 2023, only 5 of the remaining 35 attending members still attend this lunch. The story that follows was compiled by John Knowlton concerning events of B Company from 1976 to 1981. I joined Bravo Company in July of 1976, 2 months after I left the regular Army. I was a first lieutenant and assigned as the executive officer. Captain Dwayne Ninehuis was the company commander. Annual training that year was a departure from normal. The 3rd Battalion occupied a tent city near Jones Lake on Camp Grayling. It was a test of deployment to a base camp. Everything was in a tent, including the shower facilities and mess. Captain Ninehuis was replaced by Captain Thomas DeYoung, a Vietnam veteran. This was a trend in new leaders in the company, as Vietnam veterans sought to continue their military service. Among this group were David Householder, Lloyd Cook, James Yancey, and Leroy Sarwick. The downward trend in enlistment caused many problems in manning positions. I took command in October of 1977. Company strength was about 80 men. Because of the low level, 1 AST had to be transferred to battalion. First Sergeant Ray Knobber was involuntarily transferred. This left Supply Sergeant Roger Neighbor and Custodian Don Schieberty as full-time employees. Jarvis Compagner became First Sergeant. During this time, the armory was regularly rented to Hope College to use the gym and drill floor. It was also rented out for dances and parties. In January of 1978, the City of Holland and Ottawa County requested assistance during the blizzard. Company vehicles were equipped with tire chains and used by company personnel called to state duty. Tasks were the delivery of medicine, transportation of police, and any other help the city or county requested. The armory became a Red Cross emergency housing center. One incident occurred at about 1 a.m. when the Holland police called for assistance when a car stuck on railroad tracks. A driver with a 2.5-ton truck was dispatched to pull the car off the tracks. He completed the task minutes before a coal train came through. the county requested helicopter support to take up county emergency personnel to survey the area around Holland. A UH-1 Huey was sent by State HQ and landed in a cleared parking lot to pick them up. President Carter authorized the Humanitarian Service Medal for personnel throughout the county involved during this blizzard. In the late 70s, the unit's wartime mission changed to reinforcing the 7th Corps in southern Germany. In 1979, a group of us attended the Junior Leaders course in the Northern Warfare School at Fort Greely in Alaska. The object to teach us winter warfare techniques included the use of the equipment such as skis, snowshoes, Yukon stoves, Arctic tents. Also, survival issues such as the effects of the cold on equipment and our own bodies. We were to be the cadre to come back and train the rest of the unit. In 1980, we partnered with the 1st Cavalry Division for training for wartime deployment with the 7th Corps. We also had our TOE changed, with an anti-tank TOW section added. This section had 2 M151 gun jeeps with 2 4-man crews. An E7 was assigned as the section sergeant. Additionally, we had a change in our field uniforms from the green fatigues to the camouflaged battle dress uniform. We also changed to Alice rucksacks. The venerable 5 quarter tons for the mortar platoon were replaced with the 3/4 ton Dodge pickup trucks, which proved to be substandard. Yes, they saved on gas, but that was probably because they were broken down so often. Training was increased in wartime type tasks. Recruiting was increased, with the recruitment NCO, SFC, William Daly, assigned to Holland. During this time, we increased our visibility in the community. We brought in an M113 APC to be in the parade for the Allegan County Fair. We did an air assault with a platoon and 4 helicopters into the Allegan Air Show. Another type of training was force on force, with our company versus Marine reservists at Fort Custer. There was also a platoon versus platoon operation. We startled the Marines because we did things differently than they did. Bravo Company silently moved through a wooded area and successfully flanked them, forcing them to withdraw. In 1980, the annual training was evaluated by the regular Army, with a group from headquarters of the 82nd Airborne. We had started emphasizing air assault training, which would eventually result in the battalion being designated as an air assault battalion within several years. I left Bravo Company in June of 1981. My executive officer, Dwayne Rotman, took command.